All right, Kieran. Why don't you tell everybody where you are, where you're from, and what about your college and stuff like that?
My name's Kieran Parkinson. I am from County Kerry in Ireland. I'd done the Pallaskinry Agricultural Mechanics course in 09 and 010. I came out here in fall of 2011 to do my work placement for the college. When I came out, I was running a combine, cutting corn for the fall. I'm placed with Jim Diver in Colby, Kansas, America. Jim runs a fleet of 4 combines, 4 grain carts and chase bins, and he also has 8 Peterbilt trucks which he uses for hauling the grain from the field to the elevator. Jim uses the Ohio scheme for quite a number of years now, and he always likes to get fellas from Pallaskinry because generally we're hard-working guys, and he gets along with us and we get along with him. Jim is a US custom harvester, and what he does is he travels from Colby, Kansas down to northern Texas, Vernon in Texas, and then we travel back up to Guyman, Oklahoma, and then back to Colby, Kansas to cut wheat. Then we go from there. We follow the season up through South and North Dakota, and then by that time it's the end of July and fall crops are starting to get ready. So we head back down to Kansas to cut corn, and half the crew goes down to Guyman, Oklahoma again. The distances we travel over here are quite immense. The first trip you go on down to Texas is 800 miles alone, and then by the end of it you're traveling 900 miles in one trip. Some people have to double this, but it's a hell of an experience. I done my 3 months here last year and went home, finished up in my college, and I came back over to Jim because he asked me to come work for him again as we got on well. So I came back over in February before all the new guys came over, and I helped Jim get all his new guys trained and got all his equipment ready. And he appreciates what I do for him, and he does a lot for me, and he's taught me a lot in life, and I would not regret coming over here for a second. I'd advise anybody to get out, adventure the world, and see what everywhere else holds apart from just home. I'd definitely advise anybody.
All right, thank you, Kieran. So look at a bit of this machinery here behind you. These are the grain carts behind you, right?
Yeah, these are the grain carts that are on the tractors, and the tractor man goes beside the combine, and the combine guys up, empty out into these, and they take them and empty them into the trucks. It's just an easier way to keep the combines rolling and stop them having to stop to empty into the trucks every time.
Mm-hmm. And how much would one of these grain carts hold?
Grain carts hold about 3.5 full combine tanks, which is about 1,200 bushel, and then one of these grain carts fills a truck, and you don't need any more than one to fill a truck.
I see. So you got, what, 25, 30 tons almost on one of those, perhaps?
Yeah, if you're talking metric tons, and yeah, that's practically what you would have.
And what would you put on the front of this in terms of a tractor?
We run R series John Deere's, and they have about 230 to 300 horsepower. Jim also gets one tractor that's 350 horsepower. So it's always big machinery that you're around here. Okay.
And then behind you, I know there's the back end of one of the combines. You've been running a combine quite a lot this year, Kieran.
Yeah, I ran one of these 9770s last fall for 3 months, cutting corn, and they're a big machine. I was put on one in my second day here, which was a great privilege, and it shows the trust that they have for us young fellas who want to work. Like I said, we ran 9770s last year, But this year Jim upgraded to S670s, and they're just a newer machine with more technology and a comfier cabin, just a more advanced machine really.
But these machines, Jim changes every year, correct?
Yeah, Jim gets new machines every year. He trades off the old ones at the end of every year and gets new ones.
Okay, and then over to the right there, I see Kieran. If we walk over, this is one of the corn headers, right?
Yeah, this is a 12-row corn head, which is 30 foot wide, and that's what you use for most of your corn. But some places they plant with 16-row planters and without GPS, so over the back of it we have an 8-row corn head as well, just for them smaller farmers that we cut for.
I see, okay. So this is one of your service trucks then, Kieran?
Yeah, Jim has 2 of these international service trucks. They're rigged out with absolutely every tool you can need in a field. All these cupboards on them they're all kitted out with drawers and with tools. He also has a compressor and a generator welder on the back of it, so that if anything breaks down in a field, you have the equipment you need to get it fixed so you can get back to the workshop and do it properly.
Okay, and these carry your fuel to the field as well, do they?
Yep, there's a fuel tank up on the back of them. We fuel our machines every night if need be, and obviously when you get back then at night time you have to refuel the service trucks, but they're a great way of moving fuel around the place.
Yeah, and these are only, what, 1 or 2 years old, right?
This one's 1 year old. Jim got it at the beginning of last season. He has another one which he got the year before that as a trial one, but he kept both of them and they run pretty well and they do what we need to do.
Okay. Okay, Kieran, so this is one of the combines you've been running, right?
Yep, this is S670 John Deere combine. Jim got them brand new at the beginning of the season. He gets new ones every year because we put high hours on them. You work hard in a combine, but it's a piece of gear that you don't get the opportunity to run in many places. But this kind of machine, Jim lets you run it on every kind of terrain, and you will work hard when you're driving a combine.
Yeah. And those are McDon headers you use on them?
Yep, we run McDon 40-foot headers for cutting wheat and soybeans, and they cut various different types of crops.
So tell the lads about the different crops that Jim cuts, Kieran.
Well, Jim cuts a great variety of crops, and that's one of the good things about working with him. You start off by cutting wheat at the start of the year, and you cut wheat most of the year round. This year we cut 42,000 acres of wheat, which was a record for Jim. We then, during the wheat harvest, we also cut some canola, and so we cut some peas up in Scranton in North Dakota. We also cut one field of lentils, and then onto fall harvest you cut soybeans, corn, and also milo, which is used in ethanol plants to make ethanol.
Okay, and there's a lot of lads might watch this back home at Pallaskinnery in Ireland and the UK. What's your advice to a guy that's, he's never been to the States and, starting out on his career? What's your advice to those guys?
My advice is to definitely try and travel, because I was a real home bird, but I got the opportunity to come out here through Pallaskinnery College in Limerick, and I don't look back on one day of it. I've thoroughly enjoyed my time here. I've been treated well. The amount of experience I have learned over here, I'd never get the opportunity to learn it at home or various other parts of the world. The 2,000-mile harvest over here it's something unique, and you have to experience it yourself to grasp the size and just the sheer, just how big everything is over here. And it's definitely worth it. I'd advise any young man or woman even to do it.
All right, thank you, Kieran.